Hey guys, welcome to Daily Driven. One of the most modern advancements that we have, one of the reasons why people upgrade to a newer car as opposed to something like this or like this is a key fob. So this is just, lock, unlock. Um, these things, it's pretty standard on newer cars, but old stuff like this, obviously, because this one doesn't even have power locks. I'll show you. The only way these lock, right here, locked, unlocked. That's all it is, right? So, it would be really cool to have one of these cars with a key fob, right? But that might sound difficult, it might sound expensive, but I'm here to show you that it's not, and we're going to be doing that today. I'm going to give you a complete installation tutorial. This is my 1987 Ranger. It might be different for the, wiring and door panels and stuff on your guys' cars, but the overall concept should be the same. So, let me show you what I got. Okay guys, so this is basically the kit. I'll go over what everything does. I'll leave the link to this in the description for everything that I bought to show you guys, in case you want to do this to your car or whatever. Anyway, so we're going to start with the solenoids. These are solenoids. The idea is, when you unlock the car, this little guy comes up like that, and your car is unlocked. It pushes that little, hook thing up, and your car is unlocked. And then whenever you apply power the opposite polarity, it pulls it down, locking the car. Anyway, guys, so that's basically solenoids. It comes with all this mounting stuff included. I'm going to show you what all you need here and how to use everything. I'll leave a link to this as well. All right, moving on from that, we have our key fobs. I chose this design. You can choose the company Banvi. They have this exact same model box with a bunch of different key fob designs. I just picked this one because I like it. There's a lot of different ones, like I said. It's just your personal preference. Other than that, we have the actual unit here. I'll show you with all these wires and stuff. Don't worry about that. This up here is the antenna. It's pretty straightforward. The one thing you want to just know is Google before time. And, if you're using the solenoids that are like this car was optioned with power locks from the factory. Now, all the wiring in it basically is dead, but the lock solenoid still works, so up and down. So if you're trying to do something like that, and you're just going to put in a new one of these harness kits, what I would do is I would Google and see if it's hydraulic or electric, and then all that really means is there's a switch down here. It's a little jumper. Don't know if you can see that. And all you have to do, if it's hydraulic, you put it on one side. If it's electric, you put it on the other. Mine's already set into the electric position, as is this thing down here. So this is another jumper, and it's the bottom jumper, and it comes default with the trunk on. But since we're not going to be using it because I don't have a trunk, I turned it off. So simple as that. You just move it over one, and that's all you do there, and it's just a standard jumper. It comes with all the fuses, and this actually is a diode, which I was kind of confused with at first. It's just for your blinker lights, or whatever light you want to hook up, because this thing actually has a blinker solenoid in it, so it doesn't, on some of the older kits like this, you would hook it up to headlights or something, and then you would click the button and they would just stay on, right? So this has a blinker solenoid built into it, so you can hook it up to any light. It doesn't have to be, a blinkable light or anything. It can just be headlights if you want it to be, and it'll go tick, tick, and then that's it. And I'll show you guys how to wire all that up as well. I'm actually planning on, so this truck has a lot of aftermarket stuff. I was originally going to do it to the blinker lights, but then I was actually thinking about going in here. This is the headlight. It also has these rings around it, and I was actually thinking about doing the rings, but then I forgot that I had these clever little fog lights that are actually really bright and really visible during the daytime. And it's already wired under my dash, so I'm going to hook them up to there. But the process should be the same for any headlight, tail light, blinker, whatever you want to do. It's just finding the right wires. But I'll show you the process of installing it there. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to be hooking it up to these, so whenever you click the button, those will flash. In case I don't know if you noticed, this does not have a horn, like a siren type thing. This is just a central locking system. This isn't actually a security system. There is, I believe Banvi also makes a security system if you want to just pay the extra and get that. Me, I don't really care, because, it's an old truck. I don't think anybody's going to bother it anyway, and there's never anything that's worth over, $5 or so in it. So, nobody really has a reason to break into it. So yeah, I'm just going to go with the central locking system. Anyway, that's all out of the way. Like I said, key fobs, solenoids, main harness, and then little light. All right, with all that done, I'm going to show you. Oh, and here's the wiring diagram. I'll show you exactly what you need to do. I'll probably just explain it because this is really hard to see. But I'll try to do my best explaining it. All right, moving on from that, this is all the hardware that we bought. And just so for reference, this was $8.69, I believe, for all this hardware right here. And then from here over, all this was $13. So about $20-ish, 24, 3, something like that, dollars for everything you see here. And then now we're going to move over here, and I'll show you what we're going to need. Alrighty, so I just have some socket sets. I have a big socket set that goes down to 8 to 19. I don't think we're really going to use that too much. Then I have this much smaller socket set, which I know we're going to use. So this is just a Walmart Hyper Tough. You know, I think they're like $10 or something like that if you wanted to go pick you up one. They're pretty good. I mean, for small projects like this, they're great. I also have a knife here. You can just get any kind of pocket knife or whatever, just in case you need to cut something, or you know, like the plastic inside the, most of the newer cars have a plastic inside the window that you're going to have to cut to be able to get to everything. So that's what that's for. This is an Allen key. It's like a multi-Allen key tool. We're going to need that for my car. Not all cars will need that. This is a wire stripper. Pretty self-explanatory. We have an electric power screwdriver and just a hand one, whatever you prefer. And then finally some electrical tape. So that's pretty much all oh, and one more thing. If you have, I would just recommend going around and getting some scraps of wire, kind of just from, this is just random project wire. Just getting you some scraps of wire from pretty much anywhere, just so you'll have enough in case you need to run extra or whatever. Step one, when it comes to removing, this is like I said, a 1987 Ford Ranger. And this is all standard. They had electrical windows and electrical locks for this year, but I don't have them. So I'm going to show you how to do it on the standard model. Okay, so first off, you want to take out this screw. There's a screw in here that's already taken out, but it's a Phillips screw. And then this piece will you open the door handle like that. And then it'll just come right out like that. So that's one piece. This down here is your window winder. There was a Allen key screw in there, and I took that out, and then the handle comes off, and that's what I really wanted to show you guys. Okay, so you pull this off and you think, oh, okay, that's it. But I don't know if you saw, but this little ring fell down on the ground, right? And that's really easy to mistake for, you know, just some random trash or something. And you really want to keep up with this ring because it's going to save your door panel. So it actually acts as a buffer, like a washer over here, so it doesn't scratch up the panel of the door. So that's done there. And then now over here, this is the armrest underneath. On this side and this side, there's two 7mm bolts. And then it should, oh, my mistake. There seems to be a third. Hey guys, so, and I want to show you this. This is the panel. All the screws are already taken out, but I'll show you exactly what you got to do. This down here, there is, I don't know if you can see it, one hole there, and then another one in the middle, and then another one on the end here. There you go. So there, and there. So you got 3 bolts. Then after you unscrew them, they just pop off. They are 7mm, and you're gonna have to have an extension. So I just used the little 7mm, and then out of the big sockets that I got the extension. You know, just went in there. They were all on mine were only hand tight, so I would never recommend using like a power drill or anything for this. I would just always do it by hand or with a ratchet, especially on interior stuff, because this old interior stuff breaks super easy. So yeah, and then now the door panel has clips all the way around, and these are going to be super brittle, so just take care whenever you take them off. Then you just easily go around and pop them off with your fingers, just super easily, so you don't want to break these clips. And then just keep going all the way around. You might want to get a like a puller. They make special pullers for these, or you can use a flathead screwdriver. But yeah, just go all the way around and kind of wedge it out, and then the door panel should come off no problem. Guys, pulled off the door panel. It's over here now. So the back of it looks like it's just got these clips all the way around. And then there's your vent down there. And then here's what it looks like after you take it off. So this piece should, yeah, it's got some old adhesive on it that's not very good. So we're just going to pull this off. I think I'm going to probably try to double-sided tape this back on just because it's nice to have. And you know, yeah, it's just helpful. There we go. Just pull off the adhesive. Some cars will actually have like almost like a cellophane wrap type thing that you're just going to have to cut, but this car actually has almost like a mat type thing. Like it's reasonably thick. So this is definitely reusable. Oh, and look at that. This is going to be super helpful. We have all this room to get our hand in here and move around to work. It's going to be really simple. We're going to go and pull the rest of this off so we can see what we're working with. And just like I said, especially on these older cars, be super careful with all this stuff because, I mean, it is ancient. So you're probably going to, if you're rough with it, you're going to break it, basically. And also, you're good to put this back on with tape if you want to. It looks like somebody's already done that with the bottom of this one. There's just a piece of tape down there. And that's perfectly fine. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. So it's just kind of use whatever you have, but I would recommend leaving it on. Just want to ease it off there. Alrighty. Alright guys, so here's what it's left with. So now it's just the idea of, I'll show you exactly what we're going to do. Alright guys, so this is basically what you're left with. Alright, so now we're going to try to start planning out our position of our solenoids. Okay? And it's pretty simple. We're just going to go around and find the locker pole. There's several poles in here, and I've already found mine. It's actually kind of an annoying spot, but see this right here? If I pull this up, I can unlock it, down, lock it. And it's just a pole. Here, you can probably see it from up here. It's just a pole right inside there. And what we're going to be doing is kind of leaching into that. And one thing I forgot to mention is you're going to want to do all your work on that you're going to be doing with the locking solenoids with the window down. And that might sound counterintuitive, but whenever you, if you do it with the windows up, and then you put everything in place, and then your window won't roll down, then you're going to have a problem. So do all your work with the window down. Alrighty, so I'm going to start planning this out, and then I'll catch you back on. Alright guys, I hit the first snag. These are the mounting brackets that are included with the kit, and as you can see, they're just way too short. I mean, they go right through. So my plan is I'm probably just going to end up putting it in right here, just drilling 2 holes and screwing it in, and then, you know, just leaching off of this line up here. It's going to be quite a task, you know, tightening it up because it is there, but you know, we're going to have to do what we got to do. So we'll figure out a way. Other than that, yeah, we should be good to go and start drilling. Notice that screws out. That's interesting. Anyway, so we should be good to go to start. Like, once you've planned out your route, just know that you're going to want these poles. These are the poles that are included with the kit, to be able to be in reach of those poles, right? So you could put them, like, they're bendy enough that you could put them wherever you want, right? So like so if you, like, for example, mine's at an angle in there, so I'm probably going to put my solenoid down here and then angle this off the solenoid like this, and then it'll move up and down. So that's going to be my plan. And like I said, everybody do whatever you think is best and however you want it done, but that's how I'm going to do mine. So I'm going to go ahead and start drilling some holes. I also forgot to mention you will need a drill or some kind of way of making a hole. But yeah, so we're going to do that now, and yeah, I'll catch you back on after it's drilled. Alright guys, I figured out where I'm going to place it. I'm going to place it about right here, and then I'm going to hook on. I already have a little clamp in there, you might be able to see it on that, and I'm just going to screw it in and it'll be great. Pro tip, I've always used, I hate marking on my cars, like, you know, like drawing with like a marker or whatever to know where you're supposed to drill. So what this is, it works with a crayon too, but this is like a makeup, like a thing for people's faces, like a facial art for like Halloween. And this stuff I mean, it's bright. Like, you can obviously see it. But the cool thing is look. See? Gone. And you'll never know it was even there. So, I always say use either a crayon or something like this, and you'll always know where to drill, and then after you get done drilling, you know, it'll just be gone. So you can draw all over, wherever you want, and it'll still wipe right off. And this works for basically any material. It even works for, like, car paint. Here, I'll show you. Like, you can put it, like, up here, like that. And then whenever you do whatever you need to do, and then you wipe it off. There you go, and it's just gone. So it's super helpful to have around, and they're really cheap. You can get them at the Dollar Tree. But yeah, I'm going to go and drill this out, and just wanted to let you guys know, you know, like that was a little pro tip if you're trying to figure out a way to drill it, but you don't want to draw everywhere. But yeah, anyway. Alrighty guys, so I got my holes drilled. And everything's looking pretty good. Like I said, I got that clamp on up in there. I ended up turning it so I can get to the screws a lot easier. And cool thing about these solenoids is these poles are super bendy, so you can like contour it however, because like for example mine's like that. The straighter you can get it, the better. But I mean, this should work fine, and I mean it'll go up and down with no problem. And I'm gonna hold that in right there, and that orientation, and it'll just, you know, work fine. These clips are kind of strange. Just so you know, the one with the two. Let me see if I can get you a better picture. I don't know. Hold on. Alrighty guys, so the one, let me see if I can get it in there. Okay, so the side with two holes goes on your car, like the pole that comes with the car, and the side with one hole goes on the new little thing, the solenoid. So solenoid side is one hole, car side is two holes, right? And you come with these 3 screws, and you just tighten them down. And simple as that. And these 2 are for the solenoid screws. So, yeah, we'll put that in now and see what happens. Alrighty guys, so it is now in. Everything is hooked up and it moves. Check it out. I'm pushing on the top of the solenoid, by the way. Down, and then up. So now we're going to hook it up to some power and see if it works, and then we're going to move on to wiring. So yeah, simple as that, honestly. It was one thing I did realize that I screwed up later on. Make sure both your solenoid and your lock are in the exact same orientation. So if this is locked and your solenoid's open, then you're screwed. So if you're working with it unlocked, make sure this is also fully extended so you have enough room and everything will line up properly and the lock will function as it should. So yeah, I'm going to go probably get like a 9-volt battery or something and then hook it up, and then we'll see what happens. Alrighty guys, I couldn't find a 9-volt. I know a 9-volt will work because I've seen it done, but I ended up just tapping into my, I'm going to have to take the fuse box anyway, so I didn't mind pulling the fuse out. But I just brought a little piece of line over here and tested it. Works both ways. It'll lock and unlock perfectly. I'm really happy with the way it installed. I mean, for 13, actually these were only $8, so for $8, not much better than this. I mean, you got your 2 wires, and they correspond to the wires in the kit, and I'll show you how to do that. But yeah, if you want to test them, just put positive over here, negative over here, and then it should lock or unlock one of the other things. And if you flip it, it'll do the opposite of that. So positive here. Okay, so say this is positive for unlock. So unlock, negative, it'll unlock, and then you flip it, and then you put positive over here, negative over here, and then it'll lock. So super simple. And like I said, you can test it with basically anything. And this one works amazing. So now we're going to move on to wiring. So sadly I actually didn't get any footage of me installing the actual control module, but I'm going to explain it all here, and then you guys, it should be pretty, it looks complicated, but it's actually pretty easy, because I kind of have, this is the one that comes with this is the instructions that they give you with all these extra wires or whatever. Here's the instructions that I made. Super simple. I'll show you how to do it. So this is the control box, obviously, and this is, like I said, the one that they send you. And there's several different ways you can trigger your solenoids, right? So I did negative, positive trigger, and you will be doing that one as well if you put your own solenoids in and your car never had power locks. So if you don't have power locks and you're putting your own solenoids in, this is the one you'll use, and that's the one I have mapped out over here. And if you do already have power locks and you're just trying to have like a newer key fob or something, I think you'll be using either this one or this one. You'll have to figure out if it's a negative or a positive trigger, but that's not what I'm going to cover because that's not what I did. So anyway, so this is the one that we did, negative and positive trigger, and I'll show you exactly what happens. Alrighty, so here is basically a much more dumbed down version of the exact same diagram. So here's your control box, the harness thing. Alright, so, and over here it shows, you know, like a lot of different ways, all the terrible like configurations to connect. Anyway, so this is super simple. Okay, all the positives, you need, run to your positive 12 volt, you need the red wire, the yellow wire, and the yellow wire with the black stripe on it. So like the tiny little black stripe on the yellow wire. But it's still a yellow wire. Anyway, so, and then your negative, all you need is the black, the orange, and the orange with the black stripe. All those go to negative. So, to ground. So, just any somewhere that there's ground. Anyway, so that's that taken out of the way. So, positive 12 volt, just ground. So, there's that, if you want to look at it. Okay? And then over here, this is your solenoids for your doors. It's obviously, you're going to have to run a lot more wire than this, but, so, out of the box comes a white wire and a white with a black stripe. And there's only one wire, or two wires, like one of each. So there's only one white and one white with a black stripe that comes out of the box. So you're going to have to split them. So each side needs a white, and each side needs a white with a black stripe. So just keep that in mind whenever you're running it. Make sure you're running it for both sides, because if you run both these wires over here, how are you going to power this one, So just go ahead and split it off early on, and then, to make it a lot easier for you in the end. And then if you want to have lights like I had, again, control box, there's a brown wire that comes out with a little thing. It actually shows it better over here, I do believe. It's like it explains it. It's a brown wire that splits into two wires with the diode, and that's kind of my blinker diode there. And it's super simple, just one wire coming out, then there's a little like black thing, and then it splits into two wires, and then each wire is just the positive for each light. And it's obviously already grounded because it's grounded over here. So you don't need to reground these lights. All you need to do is run a positive. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The wiring overall is super simple. The hardest part's just getting these solenoids in place where you want them and making them work right. But yeah, the overall wiring diagram, not hard, super simple. Alrighty guys, and here it is finally done. So you got I wired up the lock and unlock, and then lock, both sides lock and flashes the headlights once, unlock, both sides unlock, flashes the headlights twice. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and yeah, have a great day.